Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another edition of the Between the Numbers podcast. I know we've been away for a while, but it is the off season, and there is not really that much that we've had in between to talk about. Plus, we've had exams and stuff. We're both finishing uni, so congrats us. Woo.
Both finished uni.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man. Yeah, I know,
that's
crazy.
we can go full time now.
Yeah, we can go full time every day, all day. Just constant. We could live stream on YouTube, just like live
Yeah,
stream news as it comes in, just us like going through it. I mean, that's pretty much what we're gonna do right now, isn't it?
yeah.
I mean, yeah. Also, if you guys didn't know, we're being horrifically sarcastic. So I'm not
Thanks.
doing that all day every day.
Oh, yeah, what a
Anyway,
fun.
yeah. So there's a little bit of news that we're gonna get through. I mean, there's not really.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. We're going to talk about Kaepernick for a little bit, and then we're going to give you our breakout players of 2000 for the next season. Because where else are you going to find the best breakout knowledge apart from on Between the Numbers podcast?
Yeah, I feel like there was a lot of stuff we predicted last season that happened.
I feel that some of the predictions were let down by some players and some of the teams. I mean, Jay Cutler wasn't given the chance to get an MVP season, so
Yeah, yeah.
but
I feel like there was a lot of the players around him as well. They didn't really
it's true. It's
come
true.
to the
It's
fore.
it's difficult on that team.
But hey, you predicted the Bengals would be shit.
Oh yeah, we did predict the Bengals would be terrible, and the Bengals were terrible. Well, they
I
weren't
predicted.
terrible, but they were kind of middle of the park chilling. That's what it was, middle of the park chilling. Anyway,
We got Mariota as well.
yeah.
Well, I predicted. I stood fast on him.
We'll see,
Uh,
we'll see. Anyway, so there's a little bit of news regarding a certain quarterback in the league who is quite controversial, quite polarizing, which is always great for us, so we can chat about anything, and especially him because he is probably one of the most controversial figures in football right now. I mean, like South Park make copies of him um, for their new season. Anyway, it's a Colin Kaepernick, and we all know the reasons why it's controversial. So not really gonna get into that, but there is supposedly he's been he's interested. Well, he has created interest from the Seattle Seahawks, and I don't know with the system they run and with how his playstyle and Russell Wilson playstyle is actually quite similar. Maybe this is a good fit.
I think it'd be a really good fit. I think it'd be an interesting fit as well because I mean obviously he was the starter for the 49ers for a while and they're quite a big rival with the Seahawks. That'd be quite weird seeing him like a couple of years ago like Kaepernick against Wilson was like an NFC Championship game.
I know.
But no, I think yeah, like I said, like he plays a similar style to Russell Wilson, which is kind of move like lots of movement in the pocket. And Pete Carroll actually came out and said today that he could see like Kaepernick has the tools to be a good starter in the NFL. So
hmm I
um,
mean, well, yeah. I mean, I think it's just right now they're just interested in him right now, and they're not really sure if they're going to pick him up or anything because there's a lot of reasons that I mean, like some of the reasons why he hasn't got a team right now isn't obviously there's the whole off the field issues, but like like is he better than some of the quarterbacks that you'll be getting right now? Yes, like obviously some of the backup quarterbacks he'll probably be better than, but the issue is that the money that he because obviously he came from being a starter, he came from earning a lot of money in San Fran. So how is he gonna come back into the league on like a backup salary? I think that's what the issue is finding here, and we all know how quick the Seahawks are with their monetary business, and they're very
yeah,
they're very kind of like this is how much we think you're worth. There you go.
I think he's kind of accepted that. I think he knows that he's going to get paid significantly less if he wants to carry on in the NFL, and he's shown signs that he does want to carry on. So I think he'd be willing to take that pay cut. And if you're playing on the Seahawks, you get the chance. You get top level good coaches, a good system, and a team that wins on a regular basis as well.
hmm Yeah, I mean, obviously the I would still say the Seahawks would be the favorites for that division right now. Um,
Yeah,
Obviously you have the whole issue with whatever the Arizona Cardinals are doing. They're still a top team, but if Carson Palmer's up there right now, we don't know.
yeah.
And then you got
There's too many unknowns in that Arizona team for me.
there's actually, unknowns in that division. Like we don't really know what's going to happen with the Seahawks, really, but we know that they're going to be Like, well, past has shown us that they're a strong team. No idea what's happening with the 49ers. Obviously, they're just in their real rebuilding stage, but they're not going to be pushing on that much. And then, well, the Rams. I mean, what do they do?
Uh,
We're not really sure
I,
about what's happening with them.
yeah. Um, that's I fully expect the Rams to be diabolical.
I mean, yeah. I mean, hopefully, our main man, Jared Goff, gets some playing time, like a lot of the games. But we'll see. Really, I don't think they're really sold on him yet. I mean, they should be sold on him, seeing as they drafted up to pick him. But oh well.
Yeah. I mean the coach, the new is it Sean McVay is the new coach, and I think he's got a really good get out free jail card. That if Jared Goff screws up,
Oh,
I think
yeah,
it'll
he
be
didn't
put
draft him,
more on the
so
GM. He didn't draft him,
yeah, I
so
know.
he's got
And it was like the GM drafted him under not under um, Jeff Fisher, so like he was expecting something from him.
yeah
And it's one of those things where these big obviously this is the GM's job though, like to find out who's the best next player, who's the best superstar, the next up and coming one, and to pick them out from like the herd, but of all the other college players. But like it's really hit and miss sometimes. I mean, you have the whole scouting system, and there are honestly some players who get like scouted so well, and they get the highest draft grade out of college, and then they just don't perform in the pros. Like you get all the busts
yeah
that you've had at. Um, I mean, you just have to look at all the quarterbacks that have been taken in the first round. Really, out of the majority of them, any quarterback taken recently in the first round hasn't been too great.
Oh, you've got
I mean,
Mariota and
you got
Winston.
famous Jameis, yeah, you got famous Jameis and Mariota. But then you have all the quarterbacks that the Browns have taken over the years, and then like you have possibly the Jamarcus Russell, possibly the biggest draft bust of all time. Although you go for him, or you could go for another quarterback in Ryan Leaf for that. It just seems to be a thing which happens. So we're gonna see about Jared Goff. Obviously, I'm not making this about him because it's about Kaepernick.
Yeah, it's Cap's turn in the spotlight.
Indeed, and well, we're not really sure if he's going to get the spotlight for very long because this deal, I think it's only interest right now, so all we can do is speculate.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think we could move on from our little talk about news for a bit. So we're going to talk about our top five breakout players for the 2017 NFL season. And like I've tried not to pick any Panthers players because I feel that would be a little bit
I have no Patriots players.
yeah, exactly, because all the Patriots players are just like random players who you've no idea.
Yeah.
You draft them in like you draft them in like the sixth round, and then out of nowhere they become a Hall of Famer, and you're like, well, not Hall of Famer, but like
Pro Bowler.
Pro Bowl, yeah, out of nowhere. So I may as well just look at the Patriots pick for whoever they picked in the last couple rounds and be like, yep, that's the man.
This guy.
He's the guy.
Yeah, we barely had any draft picks this year. We traded them all away.
Traded them all away. But to be fair, that is the thing. Like you did pick up some very good picks.
But we got Brandon Cooks and Coney Ely are our first two
I know,
picks.
yeah, exactly. So, I mean, you got Brandon Cooks, who's definitely for sure a first rounder right now. And then Coney, who he had his flash moments of brilliance with us.
Yeah, good too.
Yeah, he had one good game, so we're there. But obviously that there are more. He doesn't feature in my breakout players list, because most of these players have been in the season for a couple years at most. For me, maybe we'll see Jared Goff in there, but like spoiler alert, we definitely won't. Anyway, Will, do you want to start us off then with your
Yeah, so at number 5, I have the running back
Ty Montgomery? Okay, I get you.
with Eddie Lacy out the door in Green Bay. I think he's gonna take the majority of the workload, and I think he showed some good signs last season. I think they're going to coach him up quite a bit because they really need a good running back in Green Bay because they relied so much on Aaron Rodgers. I think like if you take Aaron Rodgers out of that Green Bay team, they're so bad. Like they struggle so much, and I think Ty Montgomery's going to step up, and they're going to have quite a good like three like tandem of him, Rogers, and then Jordy Nelson as well.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I have to agree with you there. I mean, it seems to be one of the players who um, he is on people's like watch lists, but also it's just kind of like because he's flying under the radar. I feel right now, especially
Yeah,
because he is not a running back. You know, like he lines up with the number 88 in the there, and anyone who watches football can pretty much knows what's going on there.
yeah. I mean, also he was a wide receiver at one point, and they basically trained him to be a running back because they had no running backs left on their roster. So he made quite a good switch.
Hmm. That's true. I think we were all impressed. I don't think anyone else was actually thinking that it would happen because, well, I mean, it just seems to be like Aaron Rodgers making the players around him just like so much better. But also, like, props to him because it's a running back, so Aaron Rodgers can't really make him that much better, you know, like as a running back. I mean, he can hand off the ball in whatever way, but
Yeah, that's true.
no, it's just
That's true. All right, shall I go on to my number four?
yeah, go for it.
So number four, oh, I have one of my favorite names in the NFL,
Oh no
actually.
way! I know who it is. Can I have a guess?
Guess it.
Does he play tight end?
Yeah,
Yeah, I know who it is.
it's
Classic.
Hunter Henry.
Oh, I love it. What a great guy. Yeah, but that's actually really good. I really like that pick.
Yeah, I mean he had some good moments last year, and I think like a combination of him and Antonio Gates, and then Philip Rivers throwing the passes.
Hmm.
That would be I think that'd be a combination. I think he's very agile. He's also a really good blocker as well, which serves you really well as a tight end. Like you get a lot of tight ends these days who tend to just kind of be glorified wide receivers,
Hmm.
just like bigger, but you can rarely get the ones like the really good ones like Rob Gronkowski who can block and catch passes. And I think Hunter Henry could be kind of a player like that.
Yeah, a lot. Are you seeing a lot of the tight ends these days are being just not known for putting their hand in the dirt.
Yeah,
And then you have like the tight ends, like obviously you have all these great blocking ones, and then you also have players like I'm not setting shots here, but like Jimmy Graham is not really known
yeah,
for his run blocking ability.
yeah. He
Uh,
struggled a bit at the start in Seattle because he was
mhm.
made to block more than he was in New Orleans.
Yeah,
And he
and
got
then yeah,
I'd say a prime example of like a really solid tight end as well would be someone like Jason Witten. Like he does it all really well.
yeah, he's just all round, and he's Mr. Reliable, isn't he? So
Yeah.
I mean,
I
he
think
was
Hunter
all
Henry could get to that level of maybe of Jason Witten just being like a really solid tight end for
just like
ages.
not really exceeding at anything, but just being very good.
I think Jason Witten's like biggest attribute is the fact that he just doesn't get injured and he's just always there. Like
He's always there. I mean, yeah, it's true. Like he doesn't seem to get injured, especially not in the years since I've started watching the NFL. I mean, like we mean injured as in like injured for the whole, like a whole, like out for like the majority of the season.
Mhm.
Obviously, if he misses a couple weeks here and there through to like I don't know the flu, I'm not really that bothered.
yeah.
Um,
All right. Well, at number three, I've got another. Well, I've got two. I've got wide receivers at 3 and 2.
wide receivers at 3 and 2. Okay, I
So
see.
number three, I have Kevin White.
Oh, Kevin White of the Bears. Here we go.
Yeah.
I
I think with
like this.
Alshon Jeffrey out the door, the Bears need a tight end I mean, not a tight end, a wide receiver to step up, and I think I mean, he's barely played at all, but I think they picked him quite highly, and he's been injured so much. I could see him maybe coming out of the gates quite fast and being quite good. Like I just googled Kevin White, and there's a footballer in Australia also called Kevin White.
Kevin White.
Yeah, uh, just if anyone wanted to
If anyone
know
want
how
to know
many
who Kevin White is.
Kevin White was, but no, so he's barely had any playing time, and he did
Yeah, I
come
mean,
in with quite high
he's been injured.
expectations.
Yeah, exactly. But
Um, but I think like I really hope this isn't like a kind of like a Sammy Watkins situation where like he'll play like 2 games, be amazing, and then be injured for the rest of the season. I think if he does get some stability and he will be quite impressive. I but yeah, he was picked in the seventh pick of the draft.
mhm.
But he has only had 19 receptions for 187 yards in the NFL.
Okay, we got it. We got it.
But
Obviously, but you know, with Mitchell Trubisky coming in,
Yeah,
and you wave in Chicago, I could see this happening. I mean, like we obviously we know how sold the Bears were on Mitchell Trubisky that they traded up one spot to get him over a team who wasn't even going to pick him. But
arguably the biggest worst moment on the draft.
oh, what is it? Go on.
Well, I mean, them picking Mitchell Trubisky. I mean,
Arguably the biggest. Okay, yeah. I have to agree on that one. We could all be saying it back in like 5 years' time when he's like leading his team to the Super Bowl or whatever. I'm not saying it. I mean, that this could happen.
yeah,
Um, and people look back and be like, you know what? I gave the Bears a little bit of a hard time for that. But if he turns out to be the player they think he's going to be, then props. But also, it doesn't seem like the whole of the NFL world and journalists are sold on him yet.
yeah,
Which is, I think it's just like, it's one of those things. It just seems that you can look at a player in college and you can be like, yeah, you're going to be a good player in the NFL if they play any position apart from quarterback. But the quarterback position just seems so drastically different.
yeah. There's so much expectation put on you as well that a lot of
Yeah,
these quarterbacks
exactly.
as
Yeah,
well. They're
and you have to carry the team. Like,
yeah,
you gotta if your team's rubbish and you're a good quarterback, everyone's looking to you. Andrew Luck, there you go. Like, uh,
yeah,
it's just a team. You don't really want a quarterback. You don't really want a team where the only people you can name are the quarterbacks.
yeah. You want an all-round team,
Exactly.
but yeah. So at number two, sticking on the wide receiver. This is the one I said where it's like a really bad team. Corey Coleman, the wide receiver
For the Cleveland Browns.
for the Cleveland
Okay.
Browns.
Okay.
He was good. The times he played last season, he was really good. He showed a lot of potential. Like he's probably one of the best first round picks
hmm
they made in a long time. And I think if he gets some regular playing time next season, um, he'll be good. I think he's got like a really good career ahead of him. Like so far, um, so last season he had 33 receptions, 413 yards and three touchdowns, but he missed loads of games. So he broke his hand in practice on the 21st September. He was ruled out for 4 to 6 weeks, and he never really played again that season. So,
Mm.
and you know what? Like, I mean, I trust Hugh Jackson as well. I mean, he's good at coaching offensive players. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I think there's potential there. And like it was probably the best spark, the most positive thing about the Browns last year, despite everything, was the fact that Corey Coleman looked quite good.
Corey Coleman did look quite good. Yeah. Hopefully the Browns will be getting their way back to the top. I mean, not to the top, well, but back into contention. Just back to not being like one of the definite teams are going to be in the mix for the top pick.
Yeah,
It just seems to be like it's not a surprise. I'm not going to be surprised when the Browns are around from number 1 to number 6 next year. I'm not going to be surprised.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
I think a good season for the Browns this year would be 7-9.
that would be a very good season. I would feel for the Browns. They win 7 games. That is crazy.
7 games. That would
Think
be
about that
them.
improvement though. Like last season, they won 1 game. You
Yeah,
just need to win 2 games to have a better season than you do. Obviously, that's not a good season. No one's saying it is. I'm not saying it is. But they're looking to get a lot more out of this. Obviously, every team is. But then there's also the idea that if you don't play well, then maybe you pick up that quarterback that you actually really need and is the one you want.
yeah. Well, I mean, but despite this, I mean, it's kind of gone unnoticed that the Browns did draft Deshaun Kaiser
Yeah, that's true.
in the third round, like, and he was talked up quite a bit. He was like a potential first round pick at one point.
But
So
this seems to be what the Browns do as well for me. It just seems to be like the Browns always pick up these like quarterbacks in the third or the fourth round, which is like a relatively high draft pick, I would say. Being in the top, like you're still in the top 100 college players if you're picked in the third round.
yeah,
So like it's still one of the ones which I'm not really too sure about because there's a lot of quarterbacks taken in the third round and over past seasons and everything, who everyone's hyped about. Like I've heard enough about the Jets, like the Jets, their quarterbacks like a Christian Hackenberg. Like everyone's
oh
like,
no,
oh yeah, he could do well. Like this could be a steal in the thing, but it's never really is. You have those late round quarterbacks like Dak Prescott, but they don't really
yeah,
come around too long.
No, I mean, you sometimes get a few of them who sit down and then you underestimate them like Dak, and then I'd say maybe Derek Carr as well because he was a late second round pick.
Yeah, but I mean, second round pick. I don't. I still think that is a high draft pick. If you're in the first two rounds of a team right now, I would expect you to start for that team.
Yeah,
If someone picks you in the first two, at least the first two rounds. The third round, I'll give you a little bit more leeway, but you know.
that's a fair argument.
All right, I'm interested to see who's your numero uno.
So my number one is Dante Fowler Jr.
Don't. Oh wow, there we. That's the name I've not heard in just a year, isn't it? Because he got
Yeah,
injured straight
he
away.
got injured like 2 days into rookie training camp after he got drafted third overall,
Hmm.
and then he
One of
played a
the
bit last.
one of the many reasons why I was like added to the Jags hype train.
Yeah, um, and then he played a bit last season, but he got injured again, and I think he played towards the end of the season, and that Jags defense actually got quite good. And I think now, like, think of that defensive line, the combination of Malik Jackson, Dante Fowler, and Calais Campbell. Um, I think that's really going to allow someone like Dante Fowler to like come to fruition. And like I think he is a playmaker, and I think he'd be good. Like he was really highly rated coming out of college. And I think sometimes with defensive players, it's like they sometimes take like 1 or 2 seasons to get going
Mm,
because
yeah, for sure. It just for many players, it just takes one or two seasons because you get used to the game, the speed of
yeah.
the game. I think that's what most people say is just the speed of the game is completely different.
Yeah. I think also it's like as a defensive player as well, you're used to, say for example, like your Miles Garrett or like your Dante Fowler, probably playing from high school all the way to college. You were the biggest guy on the team and the field
That's true.
the whole time, and you could just bosh through everyone and smash everyone out of your way. And you get to the NFL, you're probably still one of the bigger guys, but there's people who are almost the same size as you,
There are
and
people
you
who have
can't
been,
just
and there are like people who have been doing this for much longer than you have,
yeah,
and they're like you may have like you may have all the physical prowess in the world, but like they know the tricks and they know like if he's not aware of this one move which can take him out, which can out of a play, then that's what it is. Anyway, so I have to go over my list now, and I have to say that there are a few in your list who are in my one, so I'm not really going to talk
oh,
too much about the same ones.
oh,
I'll just go over quickly the the other players effectively. Like I don't really have an order. I just had five players who were going to do it. But anyway, I'll go for one of the players I had was got myself a running back here. And we were talking about the Seattle Seahawks earlier. And CJ Process. I feel that even though they added Eddie Lacy, um, it's not really going to be Eddie Lacy still has to come down to the weight the Seahawks were are happy with. Whereas CJ Process, I think it's basically he's already there. Been there for a year. He knows what's going on. They're still looking for someone to pick up from what Marshawn Lynch left out on. And I feel like Eddie Lacy isn't going to be the one for them. He's just there to kind of like help. Everyone in this league kind of needs two running backs right now. If you
yeah,
don't have two, then you. I mean, you could be Adrian Peterson, you'll be fine. But if you're
yeah,
not Adrian Peterson, you need to have some rest, and you need to like people have third down backs. Like you look at all the teams who have the 1-2 punch in the backfield. I really think
yeah,
this is what Seattle's going for here. Obviously, Process is he's only 23, yeah, so he's only 23, so he's only had a couple seasons in the NFL right now. Um, but he's coming in, and he's excited me, and I think in the Seattle Seahawks offense, even though they're moving towards a more passing heavy offense, this could be the kind of switch back. Not really a switch back. Obviously, you can't go from Marshawn Lynch to anyone really, or to
yeah.
not a youngster straight away. Um, but I really feel that even though he's only been in the league a couple of seasons, like these are all the players he has the potential, he has the youth, he has the quickness on field and decision making, which I really like in a running back. Whenever you're behind and and the hole that you're meant to run through is not there, he's the type of man who looks up. He's got patience. Is what I'm saying.
He's also you're also in a team that has historically been good at getting the best out of running backs.
Hmm. And a team that is very good at coaching up players to a level. They'll coach you up, and and to a level which you didn't think you probably would get to. But the only concern I have with this is because we kind of did see this a couple years ago in the Seattle Seahawks with Thomas Rawls, whereas obviously we thought he was going to come in and do the same thing. But I mean a couple of injury scares here, but I do like this as a breakout player. I think the Seahawks will be leaning. The Seahawks running back is always going to be effective, and I think he'll get more carries than Eddie Lacy for sure. I mean, I'm not even sure if Eddie Lacy is going to be there, because he has to come down to a good size. Now, okay, so my next one is someone that we've actually already talked about this.
Oh,
I know, very exciting.
is it Kaepernick?
It's not Kaepernick, but
Oh,
in the same sense as Kaepernick,
okay.
we do have it's not really that I think he's gonna do it. I just really want him to, because otherwise I'll feel sorry for him.
Oh, who is it?
So I've got Jared Goff here, the
Yeah,
QB
okay.
for the Rams. So basically, hear me out here. Hear me out here. Okay, obviously I like slamming the Rams as much as everyone else here, but there is reason for him to push on. Obviously, he's only the number one pick for a reason. He's gonna start more games. He's gonna get more game time. And it's just because the Rams team right now, this is the issue with the Rams, is the team is not built up around him.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
if
name
he
a
start,
recognizable player on offense.
exactly. I mean, the one who I really liked, their best receiver, I thought the Rams, Kenny Britt, he's now gone off. Obviously you got Tavon Austin, but like he hasn't been good. He's definitely been an average player. Well, not an average player, but just like a good player, not the superstar which people thought it would be.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, obviously he's going to take a lot of hits, and like it can only get better for Jared Goff. I really hope it can. But I think basically he wasn't really. He's gone to LA. He's coming now. He doesn't have the pressure of Hard Knocks being there, so he can really like sit down in this training camp and kind of like figure out what's going on here. Because no one wants to have Hard Knocks there, especially if you're a rookie quarterback. You don't want to. If you're number one, you get enough attention. You don't want more attention through Hard Knocks. Maybe if you're good enough, if you're yet to prove yourself. But here we go. Like I mean, he's had the season. He's been able to like understand what's going on in the game. Hopefully, he's up to speed with the. He's been having the entire off season this time to get up to speed with a new playbook. So, and it looks like it's going to be him as the starting quarterback for the Rams. I don't think it's going to be anyone else. And this is the thing. I like how they're going to push him forward, and there's not really going to be that contest, like a competition. Everyone knows he's going to be the guy. And going into the season, that's really what you want. You don't want the quarterback to win you over. Obviously, that's the net like what they had last season. You really want to know who your guy is going into the season, because you want if you don't know, then the players around you are going to be like, well, I'm not really so sure.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think he just hopefully Jared Goff comes out of it, and like obviously as number one pick, people think he's going to be a good quarterback. So
I
hopefully,
mean, number one pick, like you expect that to be like Pro Bowler after 2 seasons.
exactly. I'm not saying Pro Bowler, but a breakout season compared to his last one,
Yeah.
I would say Jared Goff.
Maybe
Yeah,
like a
for
kind of
sure.
season.
Because I
kind
feel
of
like
season
he's
that-
now flying under the radar, and that takes a lot of pressure off him. There's a lot of pressure on
Yeah.
Trubisky here, on all the quarterback, on Watson, all the quarterbacks taken in the first round to be seen, and then he has that entire year of experience. And we were talking about experience when compared to Dante Fowler. So, I mean, I really hope this happens, but I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't. I'm just hoping. I didn't say I think. I just hope this does happen, because the Rams are pretty terrible and they need something to go right.
That is a very good point.
Yeah. Other than that, I had Corey Coleman and Hunter Henry on my list as well. And then okay, here we go. I got another one for you. Josh Doxson of the Washington Redskins. Sorry. So basically, what's
I
happened?
thought about putting him on my list.
Yeah, you thought, so but yeah, so I quite like this right now with Deshaun Jackson moving out to the Buccaneers. He's gonna get Doxson's gonna get a lot more targets, hopefully a lot more receptions. I mean, he had 1,700 yards in his first season, so that's not like, in his final season in college. So, like he has the potential to do well. And I think
Yeah.
with Kirk Cousins being there, and it looks like they're kind of sorry set on Kirk Cousins being in the as quarterback for the Washington Redskins. I mean, Deshaun Jackson's gone, Pierre Garcon's gone. Who's going to be then the big number one receiver? I think he can go up and take that, and I think Jay Gruden really likes him as well.
Yeah.
So
I think it's
I'm liking Josh Johnson for this.
part of the reason why they let all those players go because they realised they had Josh Doxson, and I think they have a lot of faith in him.
Yeah, exactly. And then I think even though you got a crazy tight end situation in Washington. The wide receivers you could say were one of the best like wide receivers like last year. However, now I think just like they're into that rebuilding stage, and Josh Doxson is one of the people who will profit from it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's me over for that.
That was eye-opening.
Wonderful, inspiring. I know.
Yeah.
I know.
I'm so pumped for the season.
Oh yeah, and obviously all the other news we'll keep you guys up to date with. But I don't think there's anything else we really want to talk about. We've already chatted away for about half an hour babbling about who we think's going to be good.
Who do you think is going to win the Champions League final?
We're Champions League final tonight. I could talk about this for ages. All right, so basically, guys, if you don't know, it's Real Madrid versus Juventus in the Champions League final tonight, as this is the 3rd of June. And if Real Madrid win tonight, they become the first team to win it consecutively, so 2 years in a row. But Real Madrid, I saw the stat today, which Real Madrid have never lost a final, but Juve have never lost a Champions League final when they're playing against the previous winners.
Yeah.
So I mean, my money's on Madrid. My heart, I would love to see Buffon win it, but
Yeah.
my money's on Madrid.
I think most neutrals, apart from I think all neutrals are probably going for Juve. Like I'm backing Juve, but my head says also like
Yeah, exactly.
probably Madrid
I would
because
just like
they played
Juve to win it,
outrageously this season.
It would be quite cool. But also, like we're not like Madrid team. They're crazy.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think that is it for this week, guys. I'll let you know when we're next. Well, we'll let you know when we're next planning on doing anything. Hopefully, there'll be some news out. Otherwise, so we have to like randomly predict a lot of stuff. But oh well. Until next time, guys. Enjoy it and make sure to watch Champions League final tonight, huh? All right. See you next week, guys.